You're arranging some shit. What was so fucked up? I'm sorry.
There's a problem with people riding around in inner cities with paintball guns and shooting hobos at close range while they're asleep and shit.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked up.
Oh, I didn't realize they were doing a pub crawl tonight.
Who?
801.
Are they?
Yeah, they're like 801 pub crawls in effect, and I'm like, I think that defeats the purpose of your ride if you're going.
What?
What it's this spike thing that they do.
I don't. What language are you guys speaking?
I think Marcus will. Marcus, you explain it to the internet and to Dylan.
There's this crew of people that every Wednesday night at 801 they go riding bikes, and so they take lots of like cool pictures of them being cool, and they have a good time. But they they go once a week, and so they always post with the hashtag 801 life.
I don't know what a hashtag is.
Man, it took me forever to get what a hashtag was.
It's essentially a pound sign, but it's a way of organizing data on the internet so that by topic.
If you put a hashtag and then your topic, if I was to click that topic or search that specific topic, everything with that.
It's also
hashtag.
Popularly misused by people being like, they hashtag and then they add extra run-on sentences of things that they, I guess, should have just put in the picture caption originally, but I don't know.
Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do.
It's metadata. It's popular metadata.
I think it's funny, like it's popular, but I've never searched for anything with the hashtag. I don't know about you guys.
It's I do like on Twitter if I'm like wanting to like.
What's Twitter?
Really?
No, I'm fucking.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, I have used it on Twitter before.
Which is what it was originally like. The first thing I saw it on for. I don't know. I can't like qualify and be like, oh, they were the first ones to use hashtags, but that was originally what I saw it on. It was Twitter. And so like if I want to like read all the tweets in that topic, then I use them.
I've done that for like TV shows, like when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going on.
Yeah, and then you can see everyone's response. Yeah. And I think, they're good for that. But yeah, they're, I don't know. It's weird it's funny how people, look at that shit. Going up. Just misuse them, Yes. Get the hell out of here. Oh, swing and a miss,
Nice.
bitch.
That was fucking clutch.
That was perfect. We built this city.
Yes.
Oh, God.
You
know who wrote the lyrics to that song?
No,
Bernie Taupin.
The other guy.
Bernie Taupin
wrote the lyrics to that song.
Later on, Thom Goes to the Mayor would.
That's such a genius show. And I don't really like Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. And my reasoning for that is whenever I watch it, I feel like that's what all TV is like, and I just don't realize it.
It just, to me, Tim and Eric Awesome Show is fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Thom Goes to the Mayor is kind of disturbing,
absolutely.
too.
Like, those dudes are just semi-disturbing.
Like, Thom Goes to the Mayor, I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like it had, like, some sort of, like, cohesion to the episode, whereas, like, the little bit I've seen of Tim and Eric is like, how fucking weird can we be? And they'll let us put it on TV.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
Well, I get Tim and Eric, and it's just like making fun of training videos and just the horrible shit you had to watch in educational videos and things like that from like 1987 to 1993. Like, and
what a weird topic to cover in your TV show.
I get it. Like, it was funny for a while, and then after I started watching it, especially like the Christmas special, I was just like, this is fucking kind of weirding me out.
I would think it'd be funny for like, honestly, like it'd be funny for like a skit or like a continuous skit on a show, but not for like the entire basis of the show.
Yeah.
That seems like something like, every so often you revisit this skit, but. And then it was on like midnight on Tuesdays on Adult
for like
Swim.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, so it's not like
Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. And that has some great moments in it. Where my dad sucks when I'm alone. Just a song.
Oh.
Not me, really.
Well,
I'm glad I know that about you now.
You Nothing. Like he's just sitting there with his mouth.
Yeah, just waiting for it to come. What were you guys talking about? Apex predators earlier?
Oh, you know, it's just like, you know, I was making like that shit where like people like hunt sharks, like how many sharks we kill a year, and like these people have been hunting in Missouri or Mississippi, like, you know, biggest gator ever caught on record. And it's like when you kill the apex predator in a fucking environment, that just like spells bad juju. And that's how we get into talk about like, you know, just like destroying anything in like a food chain is not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharks have been around for millions of fucking years.
As much as you want to show a great white shark to fucking leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the ocean for a reason.
So, the oldest
Calcium will
creature on
keep
the
your
planet
than
is
sharks.
probably the horseshoe crab, isn't it?
Is it? I thought gators and stuff like that were Triassic.
Fucking horseshoe crabs are from the Cambrian explosion, man.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
mean, like, if
500 million years on this
If you're
fucking
not counting
planet.
like small, like microscopic organisms, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the microscopic organisms were around for billions of years.
Yeah.
Billions of years. I heard some pretty convincing arguments from Cosmos and other places. Not saying that this is what happened, they said it's strictly a possibility, but since there are organisms that can live through the vacuum of space, and there's actually a network of shattered every time a asteroid hits a planet, different rocks from that planet, sizable chunks get thrown into a
Oh, yeah. I knew that was
system
coming.
that can move through. That could technically, if there was life that could survive the vacuum of space, it could be moving intergalactically. So there could technically be DNA life on other planets, DNA-based life on other planets. And it sounds ridiculous when I say it, but if you watch Neil deGrasse Tyson make that argument, he's pretty convincing. Are you fucking
what
serious?
the
I was
fuck?
knifing him in the fucking knees. Bullshit.
Still only in a caution, though.
Hi. Red guy.
Well, it's like the important thing to remember about science is like, you're like, here are these possibilities, and like, what was it? I read this thing like there was an article like 10 commonly misused scientific words. One of them was proof. And they're like, well, science can't. You know, it's like we don't definitively prove everything. We prove that it's it's something like
Yeah,
here's
that
a
bothers me.
possibility,
That
and there's
bothers
a lot
me.
about it. But
Okay,
like,
here's my example.
there's no
I watched
100%.
something where they said birds have the ability to see ultraviolet rays, I think. Or maybe it was the other end of the spectrum. I can't remember. But my question for that is, have you ever been a fucking bird? Like, you can't prove that.
No, you
Beyond a 99.9, it may be the most logical possibility, and thereby is our best proof, but it does not. It's not
Oh, yeah.
a scientific fact.
In the same way that, like, when we say, like, dogs are colorblind. is
Yeah,
what you're saying?
exactly. You can almost prove it. You can prove it to like 99.9,
Oh, yeah,
but you
you
can't
can-
say
until
necessarily
you
it's a
experience
fact.
it on a, like personally, you can't prove it.
I mean, they can come
And even
damn
then,
close.
even then, you could talk like, well, just because you experience it, doesn't mean you experience it.
Yeah, that's kind of going into the philosophical.
If you,
Yeah.
well, and then that was my thing of like, well, if Marcus wants to get like hard science on it, once you get linguistically into it, like when you want to like get like all like Derrida and Lacanian, you know, ideals, and be like, well, what exactly are you meaning with, you know, certain signifiers and things like that? Like in the language that you're using, you can just really fucking piss some people off and like. And that's the thing is, it cracks me up if, mainly in science, people get pissed off when they hear news that just they don't like, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's-
instances where
They just, if they don't like it, they
scientific
get
community,
fucking mad.
the scientific community refused to accept continental drift. Like they refuse to accept it. They want to hold on to the conventional, and Cosmos is filled with examples of that. Just over and over again of science saying that's impossible, and like being people who are way ahead of their times being laughed out of the field and then dying thinking they're idiots.
I just kind of mean too, though, like the general public, you know, if they hear things in science they don't like, they just get.
Well, I mean, you can say that for anything. Like, I had had this guy, my Sunday school teacher, Rick, coolest guy in the world, and so he brought something to us one day. It was I guess you can start talking about it now. and he brought to us a concept, and we were like, we don't like that idea. That idea is wrong. And so we talking about it, and we started talking about it, and he was just like, it's culture, you don't believe it. He was like, but religiously, like, he's like, this makes total sense that you
Well, see, religiously, though, I would argue that honestly, a little over science. That religion is a lot of
You again.
Sorry.
The sacred rite that's about to begin at this tower shall endow the girl with magnificent power. She will join us, become one of us.
This is no ritual. It's terrorism.
Isn't that a popular word these days? Not to worry. We've prepared a special ritual for you.
Why haven't you been doing that the whole time? But I mean, like, the big thing, like, that I cut out of it, like, you know, because I can't even remember what he was talking to us about or anything. But what I liked about it was just because you don't like something doesn't make it less true. Your personal opinion on something doesn't make something less true. It's like
And that-
I don't like the idea of
yeah.
gravity, so gravity doesn't fucking exist.
absolutely,
That's not how it
and that's
works.
just it. It's like we acknowledge the fact that you don't like it, but it you know,
Oh, gravity.
it's still there, you know.
Technically, galaxy, according to the laws of physics, should not hold itself together. And their explanation for that is something called dark matter.
according to the laws of physics that we know about.
And it's just like, yeah, then it's not a fucking law if it doesn't always apply.
Yeah. Well, that's where, like, you can say anything, like, scientifically, everything, I believe, everything is considered a theory.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I mean, one thing is that some scientists admit, some scientists don't admit to have a hard time, they do have a hard time admitting to, is that, you know, we don't know everything. I mean, you know, like, we haven't studied and looked at everything. It's just like that, you know, goes against the laws of physics. I was like, well, do we know every concept about physics?
Fuck, you look at
No.
the universe and you realize we don't know shit.
Oh, yeah.
We know a lot about our planet, but even we still know less about the deep sea than we know about our own galaxy.
One thing, we actually know more about the moon than we do about our seas.
Yeah, the deep sea is it's some interesting shit.
Well, it's like, you know, people were just like, oh, we finally, for the first time ever, caught a giant squid on camera. Well, you know, we haven't had cameras for really that long in the history of mankind
Yeah,
that can capture
late
a animal
1800s.
underwater. Yeah, but then we can put underwater to capture this gigantic animal. It's just like,
Yeah, let alone like cameras haven't been around that long,
yeah. To me, I was just like,
and then cameras that could go underwater,
Yeah.
even you know.
1970s, and even then they were VHS.
I mean, like, I just.
Oh shit. Back up. I don't know what I was doing there. Fucking stupid.
But it's just like, I mean, it's totally cool. It's like, oh yeah, this is totally neat, but we can't be like, oh man, we've never had, this is crazy. No, it's not crazy. We haven't had long enough to actually go and look for it.
That's that guy.
Plus, someone had to fund that, and really, how many people are willing to fund? Let's prove giant squids exist.
Yeah.
I mean, they wash up on beaches. We know they exist. We just haven't seen one alive. So their existence wasn't even in question. It was, what do they?
Hey,
look
I
like
really
when
want
they
to see
swim in?
this.
Yeah.
Man, Vampiros Toothos. Creepiest creature.
What is that?
Vampire squid from hell.
Damn.
They also have bioluminescence at the end of their tentacles to confuse their prey. They're
Creepy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And also, apparently, the Humboldt squid is supposed to be one of the smartest creatures in the sea.
They say on average, though, octopi are very similar to house cats.
Octopi blow house cats out of the water. My personal
I
opinion.
mean, personality-wise, that's what they say. I don't know
Oh, like
intelligence-wise
knocking
at
shit
all.
over and making it inconvenient.
No, just curiosity-wise, like when divers go see them, they want to go and see and like interact. And,
Yeah, cephalopods, both the octopus and the cuttlefish are very, very intelligent, along with squid. However, the Humboldt squid is got the closest attack and hunting method to wolves in the sea, and they work as teams. And their population is exploding faster than I want to say any other large creature on the planet.
Well, here's the thing: is like you want to say like it's exploding.
Along with raccoons are also
Raccoons.
Raccoons are apparently our top contenders for, evolutionarily speaking, could possibly overrun humanity in millions and millions and millions of years. Because
Yeah,
they
can take care of that in a month, though.
No, we can't. Seriously,
With raccoons?
we're trying. We present them with harder and harder problems, and they are increasing their intelligence exponentially by solving our problems.
I'm not doubting their intelligence. I'm saying if you wanted to go out and in the next year say, I want to obliterate the raccoon population.
You couldn't do it. They're trying to do it in
feel
Japan
like
and they
you
can't
could.
do it.
I
They
feel
got
like you
introduced to
could.
Japan and they
They're
can't
not,
fucking
but
do it.
they're not setting out to make this species extinct. I'm saying with mankind's
we were gonna make
capabilities,
it extinct,
if you were
yeah.
going to make this species
Okay,
extinct,
yeah. Right now, but
absolutely, you
right
could
now,
wipe this
but I'm saying
species
in
out.
billions and millions of years, like we're not. Why would we want to do that? Like I'm saying, by the
If you
by
felt
the time
it
they
was
would
a
take.
contender, like the way you're speaking of like this animal could control
I'm not saying
us
they
and-
would. I'm not saying they would dominate us. I'm saying they would be the
Planet of the
next.
Raccoons.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
They would be. I'm not saying. I'm saying after we're gone.
You mean they would
I
be
mean,
like
we're
the
not going to be
most-
around for millions. They are the most.
They would be the most prevalent animal. Like
the most intelligent.
Oh,
and
okay.
I mean, humans could keep evolving too. And
Yeah, they
if we-
say this though, but honestly, like they said that about dolphins, and then dolphins wound up scientifically being proven to be just like incredibly dumb. It was the exact opposite. That like the dolphin had the brain capacity. This was like latest findings that the dolphins
Yeah.
brain capacity is like that when you're like high on marijuana. Ooh, that's the pizza timer, but
Which totally explains a lot.
Yeah. You know.
That was like the number one example in an article recently with Science Myths was that, you know, dolphins are in fact not super intelligent. And that's just devil's advocate to the raccoon thing of like, well, it's like,
I'm
will,
not.
you know,
I'm not. Like, humans could keep evolving and become a different creature and continue to rule the world for billions of years, millions. You know, I mean, we haven't stopped evolving either. But I kind of tend to think that if we keep evolving, it's just going to be into blobs of fingers to push buttons, like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But
Wasn't stepped there in the right direction on the wall.
raccoons are becoming exponentially more intelligent as a result of our problems that we keep giving them. They have opposable thumbs and several super senses. They are a very successful creature on the planet that could keep evolving, and if we disappeared, could be like the next big intelligent race. Like could evolve into being, and apparently squids kind of make that contender too. I've seen that in some shit, but I mean, that's millions and millions.
that
We have
made
no
up-
idea what happened. There could be like, there's a fungus going around right now that's taking out almost every toad and frog in the world. It's a really big problem. You know, something could happen
Yeah,
like
same
that.
with
Just
the-
take out
yeah.
every fucking raccoon.
that was happening
just-
to bats as well, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
There was like a parasite killing bats.
That could happen to us, and it could happen to raccoons. You never fucking know, but they are.
They don't make sense of that box fell right there.
Was the pizza not ready?
It is.
Okay.
It totally is. I took it
Cooling
out.
down. Okay.
Wait, you got up after the alarm went off?
Oh yeah, I checked it.
Oh, damn.
It looks good.
Oh.
Ow!
Have-
What the fuck?
Have faith, my friend.
you
Pizza!
got it, man.
Pizza!
Oh, crap.
Fucking hell! Get hit like a motherfucker.
It's crazy to think about those things, and it's hard to, with time, you know, especially
Oh my
in the case
God.
of science, you can't think of time in like I guess like a human way, because you know time is,
Fuck off.
and the human timeline is just such a fucking short time. You just,
Oh,
you know, you regard our lifetimes. It's a blink in the eye.
Plants have a beat on that.
Plants, yeah.
I've heard some arguments for sentience in plants just being a different kind of sentience. Or what do you define as sentience, you know what I mean? There's some interesting shit about that too. And when life began, there was a prototype life that was looked like plants. I mean, or all of the same descendants. It's all DNA life.
What?
And wasn't this something to talk about in Cosmos 2 is there could be life, could have there could there have been another type of Genesis that was not DNA based or not DNA based life elsewhere in the galaxies in the universe that we would not even recognize as life because we don't understand anything not based on DNA.
Absolutely. I mean, all of this is set into the context, though, and I feel like it needs to be thought about in the way that, like, you know, we say this is a species that can think, reflect, and, you know, spend that time doing and talking about how we feel. But the only way we can communicate those feelings and understand those feelings is in context to, like, other humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no... It's weird when you read, like, or you just learn that, like, no other species can do those things. Well, I mean, we have no way of knowing, because you just can't, you know, like, even Melinda, you know, last week was like, do you think the dogs feel emotions? And it's like...
Dog emotions.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'd assume so, but I never would know, because there's no way that the animal can communicate that to me 100%, you know?
I was watching some David Attenborough shit where they're talking about the Cambrian explosion life and the reign of the trilobites, and they have so many different varieties and so many different features that they actually said at one point, we don't know if they had senses if we don't know whether or not they exist or not. Different senses. Like, that's mind-blowing.
Well, and that's just the thing. It's like, the only way you know it is like, we've assigned characteristics to the dogs based off of human experience and human emotions. And so, like, all the things that we've assigned to these animals they're human qualities, you know what I mean? And so it's like, this... If the animal can communicate, it can mean something completely different, you know.
From what we're associating.
Absolutely, and so that's just where.
That's where, like, a lot of people, you know, like a lot of people do that with animals. You look for what's familiar and you assign it that.
It's called
because it makes you feel more
anthropomorphism.
comfortable.
Anthropomorphism. I like saying that. It makes me feel smart.
Anthropomorphism, right?
Anthropomorphism.
But it's like, and then it makes you more comfortable with those animals. But really,
And I also know the word sagacious, but I don't know what it means.
the dogs
It's
should be
used in this
plotting
game.
your death. I mean, before we know the dogs are plotting your death, dude.
I know the cats are doing that.
Cats are dead.
They're like, fucking hell, this guy's an asshole. If I had big teeth, I would eat him.
Oh, it's like they weren't so dependent on you.
No, they would just figure out, if they could figure out a way out of your house, they would kill you and run away. There was an old Jim Gaffigan joke that I fucking love, where he says, I think it's wrong to keep animals as pets, because animals weren't meant to be kept inside. And whenever I say that, I hear people, I always have people that go, oh, but he loves me. And I always say, really, open the door and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are animals that actually, I just like that joke. There are animals I've known that if you open the door, they'll be like, fuck that, hang out in your house, you know.
Well, you know, part of that is like, are they hanging out in your house because they love you, or are they hanging out because, man, this motherfucker feeds me and I'm sleeping, and I'm sleeping and there's no like, you know.
That's a kind of love. I mean, some people stay married because of that.
Yeah.
I think that, well, that will always show your outlook too, whether you're an optimist or realist, or, you know, if you're being pragmatic or pessimistic, you know, you never know. And I mean, it's what they, you know, in that case, let that person believe what they want to believe.
Welcome.
Let that be their viewpoint of the world.
I think I can kill this guy fast enough so we can still
things on what are you buying?
That's my goal.